Hey there. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello. Hi there. And I am so sorry. I've got cats all over the place. We are having a heck of a storm. And I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hi, my darlings. Hey, I know all you guys. Hi. It is so nice to see you. Hi, hi. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. You guys. Okay, I'm gonna get a grip. I gotta tell you this. Never ever, I love you guys too. Never ever did I think that I would be here going live in front of all you beautiful people that make my community. Thank you. And I'll get over it. I'll get over it. Okay, sorry, I've got allergies today. And we are in the middle of a massive storm. Love you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And the sirens are going off. I'm thinking, oh, well, this is an appropriate time. So if the stream gets cut off or something else, I've got I've got allergies. And listen to my voice. And the cats are going crazy because they always, hi, standing stone, hugs, hugs, hugs to you guys. But the cats are going crazy. Sorry. So much for the Lancome and the cover girl tonight. We're going to have a good time. So this is it, my darlings. We are here. We're ready to talk crime. And it has been a heck of a week, hasn't it? Oh my gosh. Mercury retrograde. Let's just talk about this. This past week, I'm telling you, well, I love you guys too. Thank you so much. And by the way, I wanted to let you know, we have a beautiful moderator. She is from True Oracle, just so you know. And before I get started, I want to do something real quick because most of you have done this and I love it. If you want a video reading with me, please feel free to click the QR code. It's easy. Click on that, order a video reading. Many of you in here have had one, and I really appreciate it. So I'll leave that up for a little bit, and we're going to make things a little prettier. Okay, so here we go. So True Oracle is moderating. If you see any problems, her name is Maria. Maria, let her know. Just say, hey, we've got a problem. If you see anybody in here, I don't think so. I mean, after all, right? I don't think so. Hello, my darlings. Oh my gosh. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You guys are just beautiful. Thank you. So we've had a heck of a week, haven't we? All right, my darlings. Yes, standing stones. You are definitely a darling too. Hugs to you, my darling. Oh my gosh. Up there in the thick of it in Mass. Okay, we've had a heck of a week. And I have some questions that I want to ask you. Thank you so much, my darling. Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet and kind. And another thing, another couple of announcements. This is not our giveaway. I have not gotten the rules out because it is not, my goodness, you're coming in from everywhere. I love it. This is not sponsored by YouTube. So I have to put the official rules, and we're going to do that when I get closer to 7,000. Us passed the 6,000 mark. I can't believe it. I've been on YouTube forever and have just hung here. And then boom, Karen Reed happened. And I'll tell you, it's kind of weird. I got to tell you. Thank you to the UK. I love the UK too. It was kind of weird because I've been watching true crime and sorry. Okay, so been watching true crime. And thank you so much for the memberships, my darling. Thank you to all of you. Watching true crime, and I've been watching. I came in late to, thank you, Elizabeth. Came in late to Karen Reed, and I was late to the pool party. I missed all the prelims. I missed it all. And then boom, it was day 9, something like that. And I got to see, thank you everyone, I got to see Jennifer McCabe testify. I'll try to be nice. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. This chick, you got to be kidding me. So I decided to do the verdict watch. And it just went, I couldn't believe it. It was like overnight. And it was like, oh my gosh. And quite frankly, I don't even really know what I'm doing on here. I just do it. You know, I'm here to give readings and talk about these crime cases. And oh my goodness. So, well, I have to be a little nice. Thank you so much for becoming a member. All of you, Haya Truth Art and Elizabeth, thank you. So it took off from there, and here we are. So this is not the giveaway. We're going to do the giveaway. I'm going to do some memberships because, as you know, the community doesn't like us sometimes, sort of, kind of, when we get a little out of hand when we're talking about things, you know, and you can see my hands. Somebody the other day told me, why do you twirl your hands so much? I guess it's the Italian in me. So, oh my goodness. So this has been a week. Now we knew that something was coming, but there's some questions that I want to ask all of you. And all of you may have caught this. Thank you so much, my darlings. Some of you may have caught this. First of all, I want to touch on Sandra Birchmore. Oh my gosh. That was a treat to watch this guy get his silver bracelets on, right? But I was reading this morning that the feds did a little something. There you go. They did a little something as a distraction in that parking lot. They set off a few things, and then they arrested him. I keep singing this song. What is it? Sooner or later, feds are gonna get you. Sooner or later, feds are gonna win. Because it's the absolute bloody well truth. This guy, farewell to Falwell, or Farwell, or whatever he is going to be falling very far. I can tell you this. I also heard this morning that he pled not guilty. No, but I think he had to do that. Yay, feds, go feds. If you're watching, hello, we love you. But that was so weird because there's some weird things that are coming out with him. First of all, I will guarantee you that he has been sitting there wondering, He probably got his first phone call. He's probably called his wife. Oh, honey, you know that wasn't true. That stinks, is what it does. And not guilty. Yeah, that's right. A monster pleading not guilty for poor Sandra. Thank you, Standing Stones. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Cynthia. You're adorable. So he pleads not guilty, but there's going to be a time that he starts singing. Oh, this is good. This is going to just get started. The moment that he figures out what penalty is on the table, and yes, the feds can give that D penalty. I can't say it on here because I don't want to get a big smack. When he figures that's out on the table, and then he's going to start singing. Now, what about his brother? And there are others, but there's something very interesting that I read about Sandra and Josh Levy. Props to him. Oh, man. Oh. I was like, Josh, high five, buddy, right? I told you that they get quiet. When it all gets quiet, then you're going to start seeing things. And I can bet you this other group that they say is just like the Northern Alex Murdaugh family up there in Canton. He is a hero, Josh Levy, and all those people on it. When they're going to have dark stains in the back of their pants, and I bet they do right now. And how much do you want to bet that they have these little meeting places? And I'm going to say they better be careful, because the walls are very thin. It is extremely, now I'm going to tell you, these people can't move. I would be scared to death to not even get out of my bed. One of these days they won't even hear the knock. They're going to hear the battering ram, and it's going to be, you're coming with me. That's what it'll be, just like this little out of the blue surprise element thingy that happened to Michael. And oh, isn't that too bad? I'm being facetious. He is this guy, monster. I've got so much to talk to you about. I can't even contain myself. So this monster, who is pleading not guilty to not only Sandra, but baby Birchmore too. What a scumbag. I can say that. Goes over there, leaves so he can go with his wife and she can give birth, while Sandra is left there in her apartment in the dark. This guy, I'm going to tell you, I'm into the paranormal. And when things happen like this, you can bet I will 99% guarantee you. How's that? Just like that Christopher Watts, he will start being haunted. This will be haunting for him. And I say, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it, haunt away. You betcha. Better with the Irish, I love you. You betcha she is going to haunt him. And I'm going to tell you, I cannot wait for that day when they have the big trial with the big judge upstairs, because we'll all be sitting there having our little, I think they're going to have their little popcorn. And we'll be sitting and watching all those scumbags. But here's the thing that thank you, my darling Lisa. Here's the thing that I heard. And I picked this up and I want to ask you about it. Josh Levy said something, and in these documents, it said something about doing this heinous act, unaliving someone to a witness. Sandra Birchmore was referred to as a witness. And not only that, thank you, honey. Not only that, Yes, I am going to be doing some crime readings tonight. You betcha. We're going to talk about all this because I want to bring this out, and then we're going to see what the cards have to say. But not only this, this Matthew, I may have said Michael, maybe Matthew Farwell is also being charged for wire fraud. I want you guys to know something. I've been around the block. And when they can't get you on something, they're going to get you on something else. They're going to watch to make sure that you mess up royally. Think about Al Capone. They couldn't get Al Capone for anything, nothing, but they got him for tax evasion. And they're looking deep down. And not only that, I read some of this 32,000. I couldn't even make it through because some of them were disgusting, from this guy to a 15-year-old girl. Ugh, pardon me while I yak, right? What is wrong with these people? These 32,000 texts were disgusting to her. And that's where they picked up on all these other things. You're right, Lisa. Watching, listening, waiting. I will tell you this. They're going through the tax returns of, that's right, they are devils, going through the tax returns of all of the bad actors, the McAlberts, all of them. That's right, Standing Stones. The McAlberts and all of them. You're right. How do you miss? I'll tell you how you miss. Because you're hooked in too. And this guy, Harino, Gorilla, whatever the flip his name is. Sorry, I'm getting a little bombastic here. But this guy edges me. I can't even hardly say his name. The way he was testifying in Karen's case, sitting there looking at the camera, and then he whispers that, unalive me now. Right? Guido, yeah. Free Karen, that's right. Back before I get so crazy. Sandra Birchmore is considered not only a victim, but a witness. This guy unalived a witness, and they are considering her to be a federal witness. Uh-oh. And I think that she knew a lot more. Oh, yes, I want to read that. Please, I want to read that. She knew too much, because he wanted, I'll tell you how this happens. He wanted to impress her. He wanted to be the big man on campus. And you know what? This darling girl, she just needed to be loved. I wish she would have come down here. I would have taken her in. Her and her baby. Come on, Sandra. Come on. What's hello? Come on. No trouble. But he just wanted to be the big shot. But you want to know what else is sickening? In this document written by the FBI or the Fed investigator, props to her, she wrote that he had done this sort of thing before. Yes. Before. That he had written, this whole thing stinks. He wrote in those texts that this is something that he had thought about. And maybe the reason why he joined this group of young kids. I want you to know something. No, my darlings, I'm not kidding. So I want you all to know something. There's two ways of lying. There's called a commission, where you leave out pertinent details and you steer someone in a wrong way, which is still deceitful and lying. And there's also omission, in which you can be guilty of omission. And what about these bad actors? They're guilty of it all, trying to create distractions. I don't know. Oh, just a minute. I just butt dialed somebody. Sorry. How do you butt dial on an iPhone forevermore? Okay. Oh, thank you from Australia. Hello, hello. Aw. So I'm going to tell you this. I think that she knew a lot, and I think that John knew even more. Now, I do know that Karen has been saying that John didn't say anything. But I want to give you another little twist of all of this, because they're all full of the brown stuff. What if, just what if, because Karen didn't have to know, Karen's not going to know, right? What if they decided not only that Hickey baby, hi everyone coming in and welcome. I'm getting off on one of my things here, so hello. Not only did they really talk about Higgy baby and all of these things, and I think they really thought they were going to like nail Karen for, whatever. They hated her. Only someone who has hate in their heart can do this sort of thing. Just want you to know. And the absolute moment that they had the right timing, that's when they struck. This is called premeditated. Biblically, they're toast. Now, yes, I heard that too, Michelle. I heard it. And he sure did. He used her affection and her sweet, kind tenderness. So I think that things that BA, you know who he is, I'm not going to say it. I think that BA thought that maybe John was getting a little close. And I think that information came from Geronimo, Guido, Guarino, whatever. The one who missed the 32 text, the one who said that Haas long to die in the cold did not happen. So I believe, and here we go. We've got our friend, the Kipper. Guido is definitely involved. You bet your bippy, honey. Yeah. This guy who thought he was this guy who thought he was just the man, right? Not as far as we're concerned. Hi, Aunt Baby 2. That's okay. Oh, hope he's okay. Oh, there's a card that dropped. And when a card drops, that is significant. Give me a second. I'm going to pick it up. All right, ready? I haven't even seen it. You're going to see it with me. Ready? Here we are. Courtship. You know what this card means to me? Because we're talking about John. We're talking about BA and the bad actors, the McAlbert family. We're talking about all these Thank you, Standing Stones. You're a darling. We're talking about all these people. I don't know if you can see this. Is that backwards for you, maybe? I hope not. If it is, I'm sorry, but it says courtship. Now, this wasn't a love affair that Brian was involved with John. He committed himself to making sure that things happened. Look, I've got to tell you this. I am a true believer. I'm a true believer that the moment, you see, BA is this type of, I don't want to say person, but this type of being, that's a good one. This type of being that he likes to stir the pot until it starts stinking, and then he backs up. And he lets all the chips fall where they may. He just lets it fall. And I think that's what happened. I know that's what happened. Who were the ringleaders? BA and Miss Jen McCabe. When I heard her, ready, I was shocked and horrified. And the fact that we just felt like she was going to bite someone while she was on the stand. Hello. My darling, Mercury retrograde ended on the 28th. And that's when all of this started going down. Mercury retrograde is done. There is another Mercury retrograde coming November 25th and will end on December 15th. So we have a little bit of breather, but that's it for the end. And then I got to tell you something else. The sign of Capricorn, there's a couple of planets now, Uranus and all this other stuff. I'm not an astrologer, but they're in Capricorn. They are getting ready to leave. And that planetary aspect is not going to be around again for another 234 years. And when it happens, I'll report it all to you. Okay. Oh my goodness. Birthday, a Sagittarius. All right. So I want to pull some of these Kipper cards now because we are talking about, I want to talk about Sandra. I want to talk about her being this witness. I want to talk about, I want to talk about where else, hi there. I want to see where else we go from here, if that makes sense. All right, so let's see. Lynette, I tell you, it's sickening. How it's like, what did they do? Just migrate to this area? I will also tell you that I believe very soon that Morrissey will be retiring. There went another card. Just as I said that, so hold on. Wait till y'all see this. Just as I was saying, I bet, honey, I bet. Just as I was saying about Morrissey, look what came up. Despair. I'll take the little doggy and he can just shove off. Despair. Isn't that the truth? Do me a favor, everybody. Hi, Linda from Australia. Do me a favor. Put your zodiac sign in the chat for me. I'm a Pisces. Who else is a Pisces? Put your zodiacs in the chat while I'm shutting and shuffling the cards. So now that I'm over my little rant because I couldn't believe all that today, and I have just been really overly emotional because of Sandra and the baby. And my goodness, it has just been, it's been a week. We had Mercury retrograde get off, and then the same day, Matthew, I think of every time, do you know, I think of Gunsmoke. Every time I hear that Matthew. Hello, everyone. Thank you. If I could find out if there are, you know, I may answer that. I can't really, I'm afraid to say too much about that on live, but hi there from New York. Hi, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome coming in, and look, we have a well-rounded representation of the zodiac signs. All right. So I want to talk about Sandra being considered not only a victim, but also, oh, happy birthday, Karen, but also a witness. And what does that mean? What does that mean for Matthew? But I got to tell you this. Matthew is not the, he is. Now, he is the monster. But there's a lot more. Because usually they'll go after the little fish before they start going after the bigger fish. And I think when we see these big fish start coming about, we are going to be like, oh my heck. What? You mean this person was involved? I am convinced that John, no, let me back up. I am convinced that B.A., the McAlberts, were convinced that John knew more than what he did. That's what I'm really convinced about, because they knew this was coming. Why? Well, because there's still some bad actors out there that'll report to these, you know, whatever. The whole gang is going to be, we're going to see it. Because first of all, you can't sit in court and you can't say that you missed 32,000 texts. But you saw all the butt dials and all the deleted text. He looked like he was so, yes, I think so. He looked like he was so put out during that testimony. It was literally sickening, my darlings, literally sickening. He had the gall, the intestinal fortitude to imply that the crash daddy Arcas were not as smart as he is. I don't know. Does he have a physics degree? I don't know. And then I like to call him Psychic Paul. You know which one I'm talking about. Paul, Trooper Paul, that went out to the, oh yeah, bring in the crash daddies. Trooper Paul, who went out to the crime scene and didn't have to do anything because he just felt it. I'm just feeling the crime scene. Oh, when Alan Jackson said something like that to him, oh my heck, I couldn't help it. I cracked up. I was laughing for a day. I just went out to feel the crime scene. What kind of a nonsense is that? But yeah, the crime scene told him. He must have been listening in one of those solo cups. And what happened with John's belt? That's another question I have for many of you. Let's hypothetically say that it's true. Let's hypothetically say that you can get pulverized by a big SUV going 24 miles an hour backwards in a snowstorm with other cars on the street, and someone's belt just flies off. Nothing else. But your belt flies off. And where was his coat? Hi, everyone. Thank you, my darlings. The crime whisperer. That's what we need to call him, Kelly. The crime whisperer. But where was John's coat? He had a coat. I thought he had some type of a vesty coat thing. And they hauled it off in that's right, Jean, in contractor bags. I can tell you also, did you see Brian's face when he was testifying about the bulkhead and the brand new door, and they focused in on the door and on the doorknob? Did you see his face? Did you see that OSHA crap moment that he had? I think we should just at this point provide all the tissue and toiletries that we can to this group, because they're going to be having these OSHite moments from now until something really happens that we're going to wait and see. Now, I'm going to also tell you, as we get closer to the holidays, you're going to see that start happening, because Matthew is going to want to make a deal. Of course, he's going to say that he is not guilty in the beginning. It always happens. Hello. That's right. Where's all that? Yes, I can't say that on here, but yeah. How does a belt unbuckle and unloop from the jeans and fly off? That's a question for the crime scene whisperer. Hello, right? Hello. I have so many questions. And believe me, it did get in evidence, but but at first they were saying that it just happened during the accident. A pullover sweater and shoe. Okay, I thought he had like a vest, the puffy vests on, but maybe not. Okay, my bad. I stand corrected. But there's so much, but I got to tell you this, and don't nobody contact anybody. I wish I could just stand outside 34 Fairview and let the house talk to me. Because I got to tell you this, that type of energy, and I've been in this business for a long time, that type of energy will hang in a home. How do I know? I'm in an Airbnb right now, and this place is haunted, and I get rid of it, and then it comes back, and I get rid of it, and it comes back. To the point where there's been a couple of little podcasts and everything that I've been on where you hear a little voice going, hello, mommy, hello. And I can't hear it now. But playback, you can hear it. So maybe all of you might want to play this back in a few little bits. But the walls, you ever hear that expression? The walls can talk. That's absolutely right. How does that happen? I'll explain it. Everything around us has a vibration. Everything around us is still living. Everything around has a certain vibration to materialize. Have you ever noticed that an abandoned home will look like it just falls to pieces so quickly? And yet, I've seen some families. Yes, Miss Irish, yes. I've seen some families seriously do nothing to their home. no maintenance, no nothing, no cleaning. I mean, seriously, their bathrooms look like a crime scene. But the house doesn't do that. And that's what happens because a house vibrates. And this is going to sound weird to all of you, but anytime I move, I always go in and say to my house, okay, thank you very much. I promise I'll take care of you if you promise you'll take care of me. And that is to protect me from storms, protect me from wind, protect me from people who decide that they think they might want to come in. Give them the energy to tell them to just move on. And I don't have problems. Little maintenance stuff here and there, but that's normal. And that's, hi there. Thank you for all coming in. So those walls, and I've been in homes that have had stains that cannot be removed. They try to remove them and you can't. So the fact that the feds came in and confiscated the tools, like our friend Sean said, tells me that they feel that there's a reason. And I'm also going to tell you this, my darlings. When the feds saw the lies that were being told about all this, that's when they gave all of this information over, the crash daddies, over to the defense, because they saw that the CW was not cooperating. So nobody can tell me, yeah, there's a cat here. I have several cats here. Nobody can tell me, but they're not meowing. I've got them. The cats are in the bedroom watching cat TV, and that is those little bird that tweet and carry on and blah, blah, blah. But we're having a crazy storm here right now. And two of them are sitting here with me because they're kind of worried and the sirens are going off and craziness. So, but nobody's meowing. So, so they knew. So we can't say that, oh, nothing has happened. The feds have dropped it. No, they haven't. And if you're watching here, thank you, because we are on your side. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. That's right. Well, maybe you did, my darling, because for some reason, and I got to tell you another thing, the little ghosty energies like to come through the Bluetooth. Now, if you go on my playlist, you're going to see a story about a haunted necklace. And I was recording about a haunted necklace that I have. And, oh, okay. I was recording about that and you could hear growling, but it comes through. So when I have my Bluetooth in, for some reason, the Bluetooth picks it up. But let's pull some cards on these bad actors. Because now that Matthew has been, and I'm going to tell you something, he's never getting out. Never. That man's never going to, his life is over. So be it. So be it. His life is over. It should be, for what he did. And his brother's going to be next. His brother, and there were three that we know of. It was his brother, him, and another man from this group. I do feel for his wife and children too. I feel that, because you can imagine she wants to stand by him, but the evidence is just piling up below. Yes, John did work in that. Thank you very much. He did. And that's why I believe, let's pull a card. That's why I've got my House of Zelda cards. That's why I believe, in fact, I'm going to try something. Hold on a minute. I'm going to try to change. Oops. Hello. You can tell that there we are. Let me see. Now, House of Zelda cards. Now you can see that. Hurrah! Okay. I'll have to remember that next time. And it's so funny because I feel so weird. I look so different to me because I'm opposite. I'm not mirror. I want to know about Brian Albert. Did he believe that John knew too much? Here we are. Ready? Here's a card. You're going to see it before I do. Unexpected. I believe that. I believe that that whole thing was unexpected. I believe it got out of hand. I believe they set him up. I believe that Higgy Baby came to his senses for just a minute, because I think that's all his retention will give him. He came to these senses just for a moment. And then the event started happening, and it went so quick. And then I think when all of that started happening, Chloe jumped into the mix. And I don't know if you've heard me about, yes, and they did not expect Karen to be so strong. You're absolutely right. And I think that, I don't know if you've heard what, I'm going to be careful. Now I've got somebody meowing here, so you probably can hear that. So let me see if I can say it gingerly. The organization, not really organization, but the group that Higgy used to work for, was an agent with, they teach people sometimes that if they have an aggressive animal, to just handle it. I'm not going to say anything more. I think when all of that was going down, Higgy Baby decided he was going to be the big man on campus and start pulling, until Chloe, I believe, turned on him. And by that time, it was too late, and Higgy hit the streets to go down to the Canton PD to see if anybody had been calling. Okay, thank you, my darlings. I think Kelly says, I think, honestly, let me see if we can do this here. I would like to do this. I don't know how to do this. Sorry, I can't feel. Oh, here we go. Duh. I honestly think that they were going to try to set up Higgy, but Berkowitz wouldn't let BA to do that because he's friends with Higgy. So they had to blame someone else. Very good point, Kelly. Very good. I don't believe that it was intentional in the beginning. I think that they really just wanted to go, and because they were all posturing and peacocking, you know, at the waterfall, blah, blah, blah. And I think that everything got crazy. And from there, I feel that I have to be careful because I don't want to get a strike. Y'all understand that. I know you do. Okay, so I think from there, it got out of hand. I think the idea was that BA wanted to set up John, but he wanted to do it through Higgy because Higgy's not family. BA wouldn't let Higgy leave the waterfall. He grabbed his arm back, so he did not leave. And I saw that. I think we all saw that in the videos. That's right. Ruthie says, this is a crazy, I don't know, but the phrase, what would do, keep running in my head every time I see these readings. What did you do? What did you do? Yeah. I keep I keep looking at these people. When BA was sitting in court beside Jennifer McCobb and they were staring, glaring down the jury, and they were staring. Oh, and I have something I want to share with with the jury too. But when now I've got somebody meowing. That is intimidating enough. And I know that Auntie Bev was all about that. I don't think that should happen. I just don't think so. My opinion only, because this is entertainment only, right? I'm not a law. I'm not a medical. I'm not anything. I'm a card reader that has a big fat opinion about how things are going. I think, Catherine has a good point. I think they were going to blame the snowplow driver. I think so too. I think that's exactly what they wanted to do. They were going to try to set somebody up, and then all of a sudden someone had a bright idea. But I want to know this. I don't know who's meowing. I want to know this. There we go. Look at that little angel. I want to know this. I've got so many questions. I'm just so curious about the whole thing. How did this all happen? All right. Kelly, it's curious or not that Jennifer McCabe was trying hard to separate Karen from John. That's right. I also believed that Jen was the lookout that night for the front door. Spot on, my darling, 100%. And I also think that Jen had a thing for John as well. I think that's what the problem was. I think there was an issue, and that's what I'm getting to. I believe it wholeheartedly. You can't tell me anything differently. Now, I have a little tidbit about the jury that I want to ask you. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yeah, the kitty, Lynette, he's old and he's just sitting here looking at me. And that's one of those things that, I don't think he has anything better to do. Let's talk about the jury for a second. Auntie Bev appointed the foreman. We know that. She did the whole thing. I'll allow it. So I want to know who wrote that note. You know what I mean? Who wrote the note? Because the Auntie Bev gave the jury foreman instructions. What he was supposed to do, what he wasn't supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, there was this note. And I think it surprised even the jury that this note appeared. And this note was written pretty eloquently. I think if I would have written a note, I would have probably said something to the effect of, hey, we can't come to an agreement. What do we do? Some of us believe this or some of us believe that, but is there another form? Is there something we can do? It was very well written. Who wrote that note, my friend? Who writes the notes? Who wrote that note? That's what I want to do. Was it signed? Who wrote that note? There's something too weird about that note. And it was Auntie Bev's buddy. And then all of a sudden the jurors came back and said, yes, Kelly, let's show Kelly here. Wasn't 2 or 3 jurors excused during the trial? My understanding is that they were most likely the not guilty votes. From my understanding, they were the ones that didn't believe any of this, did not believe that Karen was guilty. But who wrote the note? Yes, because of Fanning, who also has a connection to Sandra Birchmore, right? The slips weren't changed. And I think that that note actually surprised the jurors. And that's when they started reaching out. That's my perception of that reality. That's when the jurors started reaching out and saying, hey, that's not the way it was. We were all in agreement of this and this and this, but there's something wrong there. And I think that jury note needs to be investigated. Oh, I bet it already is. I mean, here's the thing, my darlings. If we sit here and we can figure out all this, we do know that the feds are doing the same thing. They've got so much more than what we do. Then the hot mic moment that she said that it didn't slip. Absolutely. Absolutely. The hot mic moment during the motion for that appeal, or the motion for dismissal, rather, where it was appealed. Yeah, there was an issue. Do you see? I have a person here coming in to say hello. This was the meower. This. Hi there, Karen. Okay, this I got to show you this boy. Now this he's been meowing, but the old one has. His daddy has been meowing. This guy, come here, buddy. Now he doesn't want to come. He's going to come on his own because that's just the way. Oh, you see him there. Hello. Now, hold on a second. I want you to see this. Look at this man. He is 22 pounds. Hello. Okay. I'm talking about, honey, Amy, I'm talking about the Karen Reed case where the jury came back and Auntie Bev basically said that it was a mistrial. Thank you, everyone. His name is Riley because he lives the life of Riley. Yeah, 22 pounds. I don't know how it happened because if you saw his mommy is like, God. Bebe J says, well, Bev picked him because he was a retired cop, hence why BA and JM and Colin were sitting there on deliberation day 1. Well said. So we've got a lot of things here, my friends, and as time goes on, we're going to be working on the next steps. What are the next steps? Well, we've got a lot of Sandra Birchmore to cover. I'm going to be covering some, and some of these, it's very hard to talk to. So if you want to become a member, I'm going to be doing that on Members Live. Eventually, we'll be doing some things on Patreon, only because we can talk more freely and we don't upset the apple cart. And you're going to be seeing a lot of things. So if you would like to join, I appreciate it so much. So anyway, back to the future. We're going to be talking a lot about this. I'm going to be doing some special readings that I can't do on here. I'm going to be really deep dive digging into some more of these people. The one that I really want to deep dive and dig into is Guarano. What's his name? I know I say that wrong. I don't care. Yes. So, yeah, Fanning is a piece of work. That's for sure. He certainly is. So I've got to tell you, we've got a lot. I got a lot of ground to cover with all my dear friends. And because we've got a lot of things now that we are going to be talking about. And as we get closer and closer, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you. That's his name, but I don't like to give it justice. Guarino, or some gorilla, Guadalupe, whatever. Whatever is too good for him. All right, so there's a lot of things that we want to do. I know that we're going to be seeing some. That's right. The hot mic guy is connected. Turtle Boys Kate. Let me put that up there so we can all see. That's absolutely correct. We are going to be seeing some more things. Drop a link to the membership in the chat, or Maria. If you go, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there should be a join button right where the subscribe button is, and if not, we'll get it there. We'll get it there to you, my dear Tarot Destiny. So you're gonna see more. You're gonna see more about the jury. We're gonna be. Thank you so much for the new member, the Bolter. Thank you. We're gonna see more about the jury coming. We're gonna be. Oh, Apple users don't get that button. Let me see. I don't see the join. I'll look after your live. You know what? I don't know how to do that. I know it's harder to get into that. I'll try to figure all that out. Okay, Kelly is an Apple user. Okay, I don't know. So I don't know how to do that for Apple users. I think there's a certain way. Thank you, Standing Stones. My goodness, thank you. Tarot Destiny is on an iPad. Okay, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thank you, Kelly. We'll figure it out for everyone. Maybe what I can do is leave a link in the community post. I don't know if I can do that and if it will help, but hold on, give me a second. Let me see if I can maybe give you a little something here. No, I'm looking. No, I don't know. It won't give me anything right now, but I promise that we'll get it over to you. If you hit the $, that might help. Okay, well, thank you. We'll figure it out, and I love all of you. Before Christmas, we will be seeing a lot more. And I think, quite frankly, some of these people that are weak, may be talking about some dastardly deeds. And what I mean by that is they don't want to be here anymore. We may hear a lot of that because that's cowardly for them. And that is a big no-no. But back I was saying, I wish I could buy 34 Fairview. I wish I could buy Karen Reed's house. Because I can tell you something. Don't think that Karen Reed doesn't have energy there. Don't think that John's energy. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you. Don't think that John is not in that house. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate you. We could get a lot out of that. Because I can tell you this, Karen is still not going to say anything. She has that Vanity Fair article coming out in December. You can bet I'm going to want to read that. You can bet that you you can you can bet you can bet that their uh, subscribership and people are going to be going to that in droves. And I can bet you Karen is smart. She's going to say a lot, but there's a lot she can't say. And I want to know. I'm here for it. I want to know it. I'm here for it. So that's going to be good. Thank you so much for everyone. I just love you. I'm showing 205 people in here. Thank you, everyone. Here's a high five. I just love it. Thank you. Thank you. And I love it. So also, I want to say that if you haven't had a video reading with me, click on up here. Oh, hello. Over here. I'm backwards. Click over here on the QR code. I read for you just like I read on the videos. And you can ask me 2 questions. You can get a basic reading, ask me 2 questions, and believe me, you're gonna learn a lot in those 2 questions. And thank you, Heather, because you know what? I have been shy. I'll tell you this. I've been shy about going live. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let me see. Standing Stones, my darling. Zelda, when you did the regular deck reading cards, blew me away. I've been doing this for a long time. Oh, I want to show you guys something. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. I've got it out. I want to show. I put it out to show everyone. Give me a second. And pardon me, I have to turn my back on you. I know this is rude, but I'm going to do it. I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay. I'm back. So I want you to know when I started, I just did not look at the cards one day and say, oh, I want to be a card reader. I was, I think, 11 or 12. My grandmother, we're from Ohio, and my grandmother, she would just flip and blow me away constantly. She read the regular playing cards. In fact, I didn't even know anything about the tarot because they were in our house. And so when I would go over there with her and stay, then, she would be reading. And I'm going to tell you, this woman would have people lined up and my grandpa would put chairs on the outside of the porch for people to come. And my grandmother, if you didn't have the money for a reading, my grandmother would take, if you had canned peaches, if you made a pound of butter, if you had cream, thank you, my darling, if you had cream, if you had something. I remember a woman giving her stacks of fabric and sewing needles in exchange for readings. My grandmother would, now she wouldn't let anybody into the house. That's right, she would barter. Nobody came in except for when you were reading because she didn't like anybody else listening. So she would take them to the kitchen and she would get out her little playing card deck, zippity-doo, zippity-doo. And she would just start, boom, boom. And these women would come crying in, oh, I'm afraid my husband. Now, hello, this was 100 years ago when I was a young girl. So we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have anything like that. I mean, it was all word of mouth. My grandmother did very well. My grandfather worked at tire plant that manufactured tires, and Grandma read. That's what she did. And my grandfather was the what they called a water witch. I don't like that name, but that's what they called him. He found the majority of the water wells in the county that I lived in and on the farms by taking not two rods, but by a willow branch and doing that. This woman was an absolute stitch. My mother and grandmother, my mother loved Grace Kelly. My mother graduated high school in 1954, and it was all about Grace Kelly. And I guess when that movie came out, Rear Window with Grace Kelly and Jimmy Stewart, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it because it's wonderful. That's what my mother dressed like. My mom, and I mean, they didn't have the money to buy the clothes, so they learned to sew. And that's how I learned to sew. And my mother would make all these wonderful, great clothing. And so my mother was the Grace Kelly of the family. And my grandmother, get this, was Claudette Colbert. And she did look like her. She did. And we would go places and they'd say, do you know that you look like Claudette Colbert? And she'd say, no, Claudette Colbert looks like me. She was a stitch. So my grandmother, I think my grandfather was Irish. My grandmother, and my grandfather were like the original Warrens. I mean, they would go to these different places that were haunted, and my grandmother wasn't afraid of anything. She'd walk right in. In fact, she was invited to a place in Ohio, in Cleveland, Ohio. I think it was called the Cleveland Castle, and they were having a lot of problems there. And this is the first place that I was little. I think I was like 5 or 6, something like this. So my sister is about 18, 19 months older than I am. And so we went in this place, and the little kids, it was this big thing about how the Cleveland Castle was haunted, and they painted the interior of this house black, dark, horrible. It was scary. They did what they could to make it a tourist attraction. So they would charge if people came and they would say, well, I want to see what this is all about. Then they'd say, well, yeah, $5 a head. Well, back then, $5 a head was, I don't know, like 15 now, I guess. So we went there, and they had invited my grandmother, so my grandpa, and this always cracked me up because my grandfather, I loved him. He reminded me, if you watched Bonanza, he was the Lauren Green of the family. Seriously. So she would hand my grandfather her purse, and she would say, now, his name was Pete. And she'd say, now, Pete, you watch things, and I'm going to look around. So my grandmother went walking around, and my sister stayed with Grandpa, and I went in tow with my grandmother. And you could see the little kids were peeking around the corner, and then you'd hear a noise, and then you'd hear, ooh, this. It was all theatrical, but I seriously was scared. I mean, I was literally scared. I love Salem, Massachusetts. I had some great things happen to me in Salem. But my grandmother stood up to this woman and she said, I'm not paying you $5. You invited me here. Number one. And number two, this place isn't haunted. You're making it haunted, and your children are making it haunted, and you are deceiving the public, and how dare you? My grandmother went to the Cleveland newspaper. Oh my goodness. Hello. Yeah, she was something. But anyway, back. So she would read these cards for people. And I would just kind of stick around, make an excuse to go in the kitchen, maybe just kind of glance over at the table. And there were women and men that would come and see her. And the funny thing of it is, back then it was the men asking, is there going to be rain? Are we going to have a bad crop? Is this something? Should I buy a new truck? Should I buy a new horse? Should I, blah, blah, blah. Of course, my grandfather would do consulting for farms, and he did a consulting for a huge farm in Ohio called Malabar. And he was there when my grandmother and grandfather were there when Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall got married at the farm. That's another story we'll tell. And there's all kinds of hauntings in that. So she was a real stitch. And so I started reading the cards. And we would play euchre. My grandparents, my sister and I would play euchre, which is a card game. And the euchre, I would sit and look at the cards and I would think, now, is this meaning something? And I would ask my grandmother. So she just kind of pushed it off. Now, funny enough, maybe not so funny, but my dad's father, my grandfather, was a Methodist minister. Yikes. So that was something that was a little bit on the tab, didn't talk about it. So I have the original deck of my grandmother's that she would read from for years. Look at this box. And I don't read from it because it was hers, but these are, and this is just a stitch, my darling. Look at this. The Gypsy Witch fortune telling playing cards. Now I want you to know, there's no gypsy, there's no witch. It's just all about, it's just all about that little Halloween looking back on the cards. But these cards are hilarious. They're a cross between, let me see, let me show them to you. Hello, if I can Zelda, get it together. This is the 4 of clubs, and there's a key there. And then it tells you, the key is this and this and this and this, and it talks about sometimes, here's a good one. The I is for this and this and this and this and this. I mean, this whole thing can just go on. You can still get these cards. They're from, I think, the Cincinnati Playing Card Company or something like that. They are in very good condition because I don't use them. I'm going to show you a deck of cards that I do use, and you can tell the difference. Whoops. Hello. If I can just get, I'm backwards and it's throwing me. So, these cards used to be totally white, and you can see, but that's really where I started. And then I went to work on a psychic line called the Psychic Friends Network with Dionne Warwick. And I lived in Virginia, and that was just hilarious. And that was a time. I have so many stories. If you want to see the stories that I had, I love euchre. If you want to see, hello, Zelda. If you want to see the stories, look out for the hand, Zelda. If you want to see stories and reenactments of what my readings have all been about, go in the playlist. It's called Dark Tales of Zelda. And I have been on the phone with people who have just been unalived. I have been, I mean, their partners just unalived and still laying there and they call a psychic. There's all kinds of things. So there, yeah, those are really good stories, and they're all true. They're all true. I keep a notebook of, scary and crime and all kinds of things. So I wanted to share that. So head on down there to the playlist. Got a lot of stuff. Pretty soon, I'm going to be making an announcement on me and manifesting the house. So I'm going to be making an announcement on that, and that's coming very soon. So just so you know, so there's a lot of thing going. And I don't play with Ouija boards. I don't do it. I don't believe in it. To me, that's necromancy, and we're supposed to run from it. I don't like it. So with that said, so I wanted to come on here tonight and just give you those little itsy bitsy, teeny weeny little curious thoughts that I had about Sandra Birchmore, about the juror. I was shocked and horrified. I wanted to give you, regardless of how anybody thought, I wanted to give you some thoughts about Matthew, some other thoughts about some of these players. And believe me, as we go forward, my darlings, you will start seeing this little nucleus that we are so used to seeing for the last year, 2 years. You're going to start seeing them start to expand. Because, thank you, my dear, you're going to start seeing them expand. And what do I mean by that? Because as we go on, it's going to be every man for themselves. Higgy already has a proffer. I don't know how good that's doing him. He knows the whole story, in my personal opinion. I don't know, because I don't know him and I don't care to know him. But there's some more coming, and we're going to see this all expand, and I'm here for it. And we're going to deep dive, and we're going to dig into it, and we're going to do all those things. And when I move, I'm going to have a new tarot crime lab that I'm going to give all of you a big tour of. And you're going to know all of that. You're going to see me. We're going to be doing more lives. We're going to be doing more content. And you know what? Here is a good question. We have a question from tomorrow. Where is Higgy? He's dropped off the face of the earth, hasn't he? For all we know, he may be in custody. Wouldn't that be something? I don't think so. But remember when I said rehab possibly, Lauren? Lauren says rehab. I'll tell you what, these people are the biggest group of drinkers that I have ever known. And they are pointing the finger at Karen. And all of them were, that's another thing. This lawsuit, we are definitely going to be dealing more into this lawsuit. I think Nanner's right. I think he's either hiding, or he is either rehab, or he is in custody. You're going to start seeing these people really fall apart, because I want you to, I want you to think about this. They all use their Irish background like it's a license. I think it's sickening. And the fact that Higgins wants to ruin Jameson with Ginger. What? What a wuss, right? You don't cut Jameson with ginger. You don't cut Jameson as all, as far as I'm concerned. I don't drink, but if I'm going to, it better be a Jameson. But there's some funny business. So like I have said before, we're going to see this quiet. Now, it's going to be quiet again for a minute. It's going to be quiet. And I know everybody gets upset. Oh, why are they not doing anything? Oh, honeys, my darlings. Thank you, Laura, for the new member. Bless you, bless you. Believe me, there's going to be, let's see, Lynette. Did you see the hockey player and his brother were unalived by a drunk driver yesterday? The driver's name was Higgins, and he killed John. Gave me the, oh, I did not see that. That's horrific. I know that that happened the night before their sister was getting married. Oh, bless their hearts. But there's some, thank you, Michelle. My dear hippie chick friend, I love that name, says quiet before the storm. You can betcha. You can betcha. I'm a hippie chick too. You can betcha. Let's hear from Auntie BB too. They should be shaking considering what happened to Farwell. It's farewell, Farwell. But they're so used to getting away with everything. You know, you're absolutely right in that. You are absolutely right. They are so used to getting away with everything and anything, and it's ridiculous. And they just think they're above it all. Imagine that. And why would they think that? Well, could they have some, hi, Blue Butter. For those who are coming in, thank you so much. We are discussing a lot, I'm bouncing, so bless all of your hearts, because I've just been excited about doing this. We're talking about the Karen Reed case. We're talking about Sandra Birchmore, and we're talking all points in between. But maybe one of the reasons that they believe that they can get away with this, could it possibly sort of kind of be that maybe they may have some other characters in their pockets, and they've been assured that, you're welcome, they've been assured that it's not going to go very far? We've seen Auntie Bebs show favor, and we've also seen, I picked up, I don't know if any of you thought, but every time she would squeak her chair, walk her chair, close her, whatever she would do up there, blink an eye, Hail Mary, whatever she would do, hi, Poetic Justice, Lolly would object. Sidebar Bev, voir dire. Instead of saying my dear, it's voir dire, sidebar Bev. There's a rude awakening coming, because I'm going to tell you the other thing. The feds, these people that have been looking for so long, do not like what these corrupted people that basically I'm trying to find the words so I think you know what I mean. Besides the seaside cottage and all of that, there's still some issue. Auntie Bev is an issue. She, let me see this. From Jean, she ran interference for Lolly. I was appalled. But so what I'm saying about the feds, This gives them a bad reputation. And right now, with things in our world, it they don't, you know what I'm saying. I just feel that this is such a horrible time, but they don't like it. When cops turn dirty like this, they make it their mission. They make it their mission. And we can definitely bank on that one. Let me see this. Where are you? I just clicked on in here. Okay. I think Levy quoted Action Jackson with the full stop in his conference. You betcha. You betcha. Josh Levy is a hero as far as I'm concerned. Let me see. Standing Stone says Bev's brother, a lawyer, represented an A. Burt for, yes, having a problem while driving with someone being unalived. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and only got 6 months. But there's another little something here. I think I mentioned it, but I want to mention it again. You know, this accident that Paul had when he was out on a bender and he hit someone and was going 24 miles an hour. Now they're saying Karen was going 24 miles an hour backwards. Did you see the damage that was done to those vehicles at 24 miles an hour? Hello? Did we not? They must all think that we're dumb. Mystery singer. Paul had a DWI car accident, hit an elderly man who he paralyzed, and is suing Paul for medical bills, which could be in the millions. Bravo. That's why Paul is suing Karen. It's disgusting. I think Paul has mismanaged his funds. I heard that Paul received the GoFundMe and put another edition. What? Hello, Paul. What about the niece and nephew? That's what these older ones. Okay, they can fend for themselves. But what about the niece and nephew? Let's think about them. They had 3 tragedies in their lives within what, 10 years, 5 years. Jean says they all had brown underdrawers. That's right. They had brown spots in their pants when Weinberg joined the team. Oh, he's a, in my opinion, I think Higgins is protective custody. Well, Karen, wouldn't that be something? And if so, if that's the truth, then he could be singing. And I want you to know this. I think they had a lot on Matthew. But what if Higgy knew some things and gave them in exchange for? I'm going to tell you something. None of them are going to really get off and walk, in my humble opinion. But I do believe that they'll get something. They'll get something. They'll get something. So there we are. There we have it, my darlings. It's been, and we've been on here. Mystery Singer says, I agree with Higgy baby on productive custody. Productive. Yeah, he may be productive if he's singing like a little canary, like a little red bird. Absolutely. That is why the niece is on the lawsuit. Not both children suffered a loss too. Yeah, I'm not so sure how the law is there. I don't know. And in the state of Massachusetts, how they figure that. So I don't know. I thought that was odd myself when I saw that. Sissy says when the FBI picked up Farwell for that, they all pooped their pants. Bravo, FBI. They thought FBI couldn't file that type of charge, but only the state could. Well, here's a little tidbit that I don't think Matthew understood. And that is the feds can also ask for the D penalty. Can't say it, but they can also ask for that too. Fed law supersedes the state if they so decide to do that. Let me see. Roxy D. Bell, my darling, can the reading be about something going on and not necessarily questions about ourselves? If you like, absolutely. If you want any type of thing, it's your reading. Whatever you would want, my darling, it's your reading. Okay, so Jean says Morrissey has been hitting the bottle. His nose is purple. I think it's a little brown too, but I've noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed that. Thank you there for your comment. Thank you so much. Wild man's mom, when the head of the snake is removed, the body goes. That is so true. You may see it wiggle a little bit, but I can't go no more. Lynette says, they are claiming Karen Reed traumatized the niece, overheard her on speakerphone. The boy was not at home. The poor niece has been through enough. She has, but I want to tell you something. The law, in my opinion, can I say this? In my opinion, the law really isn't on their side with that. It may not have been the best choice that Karen did, but forevermore, look what she was about to face. Okay? So I agree. It may not have been the best choice, but there's no law, in my honest opinion, that could say, and if they're saying that they are so traumatized, well, they better be proving it and not getting a doctor to make anything retroactive. They need to prove. That's what the punitive damages are for. Okay, so let me see. Anti-BB2, Eric N. Wow, interesting. Maybe the rumors of Proctor having a job paid under the table are true. I think that they are working in that PI firm. Yeah. Hey there. I love that. Reminds me of that song. Hey ya. Okay. Feds had all that. We're not going to break into song now. Feds had all their messages from the wiretapping for the Birchmore homicide. Yes. And they're treating her as a witness as well as a victim. Sissy says, do you think anyone can do anything about Auntie Bev? I think the governor can. She's been appointed. I believe she's 64. She has 6 more years to be on the bench. She may retire, but judges have judicial immunities to a certain degree. But I think if they were that, if she's that bad, I don't think any immunity could help them. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me see. Mystery Singer says, Zelda, don't they have to prove Karen is guilty before O'Keefe's can sue? No, they don't. Again, I'm not a lawyer, and in my personal opinion, they basically they were under a statute of limitations, and I think it was coming up 3 years, so they had to sue. It's kind of like the OJ civil suit, but this is so far out of reach that I don't even know. I mean, this is going to be very hard to walk in and say, we have 2 bars in Canton that are used to selling drinks to the public. And if they thought that Karen was down, dirty, sloppy drunk, like they're proposing that they think that she was, then the bartenders would have cut her off. I'm not even convinced that she was drinking that much. And if she has a receipt where there's a lot, I know Karen is very generous and she's probably buying rounds. All they have to do, but I got to tell you this, they cut off their nose to spite their face in this deal, because now they're going to bring up some things about the McAlberts, and it's going to be every man for themselves. First of all, I can almost see these 2 establishments being a little intimidated about maybe sort of kind of telling the truth. Jean says their loose lips will ultimately sink them. Yes, loose lips sinks ships. But there's another one that I love, and that is, an enemy's enemy is an enemy's friend. Wait until they start turning on each other. That's what the feds are wanting, because, you know, when you get a little nervous and you get a little upset and you're just thinking, oh, heavens. Yeah. Cheryl, late to life. Great to see you. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming in. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. And I'm happy that you're here. And I love seeing all of you, because, you know, we talk in the community and in the comments. And I love this. I've got to tell you, this is just fantastic. Thank you, all of you. I'm just overwhelmed. Sissy says, in Paul's case, those 2 bars are going to have the best attorneys and are boring everyone in, bringing, I'm sure, everyone in for depositions. Wait until they go into what those idiots perjure themselves about and how. But I don't think that they can do too much about, there's not much about crossing over. However, there's going to be a little bit more leniency, in my humble opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, in the civil suit. And just wait until they start talking about the feds. They might be able to bring that one up. That's going to be good. Yes. So there we go. Lisa says, Alberts are, yes, I know what that means. Scurried. I'm going to say that. I like that. Good luck keeping their story straight. You know what? When you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about keeping your story straight. It just, did you see that little, the post for the fortune cookie? Pretty much, you know, the truth is the truth. It stands the same. You don't have to continue to keep refreshing your memory and writing things down. The one thing that these people don't realize is that I'm sure that I'm sure that the feds have a lot more, in my humble opinion, than what they're even expecting to know. There's a lot more. And they will be bringing the defense, if there is another trial in January, which I'm not so sure they're going to be, because I'm wondering about this appeal for Mr. Weinberg, and that has to happen first. And that's that motion for dismissal based on the jury. But even if that doesn't happen, I think there's going to be some more discovery come out. But I think there's going to be some time for some changes in the CW. Linda says the Karen Reed case and Sandra Birchmore have same players, Guarino, Fanning, and Morrissey. Very suspicious. I think the FBI will come out much more, and the dominoes are falling. And Linda, I appreciate that. I feel the same. I feel the same. And that is Mystery Singer saying, like Jen McCobb, I love that, having to read her testimony. I am shocked and horrified, regardless. There we go. That's my Jen. Wait, my Jen, open up my eyes and lunge forward. When I saw that, when she was testifying and testifying on the stand, when she leaned forward and opened her, that big eye thing, and just was so aggressive, ooh, good Lord, woman. That was your telltale heart right there. That was her telltale of the whole kit and caboodle when she would get those aggressive moments. Karen says the feds have it all, and then some, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah. Chris says, I love the cats all over and love seeing you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here, Chris, and I appreciate it. You probably still hear them meowing. They've got their TV on in the bedroom with mommy's room, our room, and they're watching cat TV and all the little birds. I can hear them singing in there. It's hilarious sounding. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Wild Man's Mama, I hope they use this time for more DNA study on John's clothing. And the question is, where are the socks? Right. Oh, I skipped off of that. Sorry. Auntie BB2, Zelda Proctor only requested a GEO info on the Android phones. Yes. You can bet Levy has the iPhones and all the but and deleted dials. I can't wait. Truer words have never been spoken. They have it all. They just seriously thought they were going to get away with the M word. Seriously. They thought they could just nail Karen Reed to the cross, let it be. She would be, and they would all go on their merry little way. I heard that Jen McCabe was a 5th grade teacher. I will tell you, I could have never had a parent-teacher conference with that woman. I probably would have tried to turn her into a frog. I don't do that sort of thing, but you get to the point where it's so frustrating that you just think, oh, right? You just think, oh, because if we can see it, others can see it. That's how I look. If we can see this mess the way we are, and my friends, what do you think of microdots? Is he just not? I mean, to me, he's the YouTube daddy. I'm serious. That content that he comes out with, that last one, I had to watch it a couple of times. It just chilled me to the bone. But I got to tell you, I think there's much going on there. And there's a lot the defense knows and they can't share. But we're getting little hints. Auntie BB says that Sissy, unfortunately, you are correct. It won't be streamed, but you can attend. That's right. The Fed, no cameras in federal court, but we hopefully should be hearing all about it. And you can bet some of these law tubers that we have, I love Melanie. I watch Melanie probably more than anybody. And you can believe that some of these YouTubers that we have, and we know that our friend Sean will be getting, I love how Sean, I got to tell you a funny story. And if I ever get to meet him, I'm going to tell him this story. So I'm not talking about him behind his back. When I would watch him, because I'm Italiano, when I would watch him, he would say, we have sauces. We have sauces. And I would think, sauce. I put, what sauces? And then it dawned on me, he meant sources. And he would say, I have the sauces, in that lovely accent that he's got. And I just thought, oh my God, I love this guy. So there is so much. We are going to know it. And mystery singer Sean O'Donoghue says, or yes, is also great with his FBI predictions. He's got the mainstream in the media, that's for sure. And now Microdots, JFK, Sean are the best. Yes, they are. And I watch them. Now, the one thing that I want you to know is that I get my information from those valuable sources, and then I read on the information that I get. I could never do what Turtle Boy and all these wonderful people, oh my goodness, bless them for getting out and finding the truth. Turtle Boy, if it weren't for him, Karen would be probably in the tank. Seriously. He brought a lot to light. We went months and maybe even a whole year not understanding. I remember seeing that. Thank you, Sissy, for the new members. Woo, thank you. Yeah. So I love all this. So and I remember a while ago after this first happened, where I saw it on the news and Karen was coming out of the courthouse and she was with her attorney at that time. Alan Jackson wasn't with her. It was just Unetti. And she was with her attorney and they came out of the courtroom the courthouse. And it was like, oh, wow. And I'm thinking, the moment that I saw her, oh, thank you for the gifted membership from Sissy. Thank you. Thank you. You are a darling. Thank you so much for that. Pardon me. Dreamfeed Media. Thank you, my darling. I watch you. Thank you. So, seriously, and when I first looked at her, I said, oh my gosh, she didn't do this. And I think it was Boston 10 was reporting and saying, oh, somebody said something about that this was a mess, that all of this happened and blah, 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 and that this was a cover up. And that was like, hello. And then life happened and I didn't pay attention. But then when I came into the trial on day, I think it was 9, and I started to see, I just missed all of the high top bull that Lolly was talking about, lollygagging. He is, I'll tell you what, he is tough. Let me see. We've got another question here from Lisa. Can you see Spirit Zelda? Sorry, I know it's off topic. Just curious. Yes. Yes, I've seen many. And yes. More than I'd like to say. Sometime I'll tell you this really scary story. It was about a good friend of mine whose wife flatlined, and she came to me, and that was unnerving. But yes, I do. I don't want to, but I do. But I tell you what, I would love, seriously, you never know. Maybe after this is all over, I can go to 34 Fairview and I can say, hey, listen, I know the kitties they're tired of the birds. But thank you, Sissy. Another gifted membership. Thank you. Thank you. My goodness, you are, thank you so much. She is just the bee's knees. Barbara says, the first time I read about this story, something didn't feel right about the cops. You got it. You got it. When I first heard it, I was like, this is out of bounds. This is out of bounds. So my friends, I'm going to tell you, we've been on here for 2 hours, and I want to appreciate, and well, I do appreciate you, but I just want to thank you so much for being here, and for Mystery Singer got a new membership. Thank you to Miss Sissy, and thank you. I love all of you, and I'm going to be here. I'm going to be growing this community. You're going to be seeing what I'm going to be doing. You're going to be seeing, there's just all kinds of things we've got planned. All I can say is free Karen Reed, justice for John, justice for Sandra and Baby B, and oh, hey, we have a little tidbit of information. Yes, Lisa. Oh, it went too fast. Sorry, Lisa, but yes. Courtney Proctor resigned from school, according to X right now. When is my next live? I'm going to try to make a schedule, and I'm going to try to do it on Saturdays. It depends on my mod, and we all have lives and lives and all this other. So anyway, yes. And Michelle has a very good point. There's so many good commenters. I can't keep up. Melanie, LTR, Nurse Kim, Sean, Turtle Boy, Young Jerk, Glazer, fellows at I believe that's AU, that's Australia's Miss Shorty, yes, and True Crime Kangaroo. I love those two ladies. Many more. Apologies, all my faves missed. You know, it's hard to keep up with them. They are all so wonderful. They really, really are. I got to tell you, I cannot wait until the documentary comes out. We know it's not Netflix, but there will be one, and it will be coming. So there we go. Standing Stone, they sprayed it with luminol and it lit up. Did it? Might have. Might have. But yes, for all of those people, they are wonderful. I got to tell you, I would get nothing done. I would be listening to everyone all day, and I have to still do my work, and what I do my best. But there we go. There we go. So anyway, someone else had a question up here. Lisa, thank you. When is the next live? Again, I'm going to try on Saturdays. I'll keep you posted. I'm maybe doing a members only live when we find out really some deep digging information, so we can talk a little bit about it. So yeah, I'm going to do the best I can. And even if it's short little lives, I'll be doing the best I can. So we'll see what's happening. Hopefully, I'm praying that things are going to be coming about next week so I can prepare to move. I'll keep you informed on all of that. I didn't want to really do anything during Mercury retrograde because for me, it wasn't the good. But I got to tell you this. I was born between an eclipse, a solar eclipse, and a lunar eclipse, and during a Mercury retrograde. So now you know. Now you know. So yeah, wild. Just wild. Let me see. How long has the staircase thing been out? I think you mean how long has, that's the what they refer to as the bulkhead, and how long has that been? I think it's been a while. Mystery Singer, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pisces girl. March 15th is my birthday, the Ides of March. That's one of the rarest, from my understanding, birthdays. You know, you can go on those calculators and you say, oh, there's so many people born on this date or this date or this date. And mine has been kind of sort of rare. The only one close to it was Liza Minnelli that I could see, that I knew. I'm obviously there's other people with my birthday, but I think I've only met maybe two in my entire lifetime. So yeah, so there we go. Standing Stones. And thank you, Zelda. And Standing Stones says, I knew it. You probably did. You probably did. So anyway, my darlings, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want you to know how much I love you and appreciate you. This is going to be a thing. Oh, wait, hold on, hold on. My mom's is March 15th and I am March 16th. There, I've met somebody. And my brother is March 18th, and he and I were born on the exact same time, but 2 years different, 2 days. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There we are. I know you are a Pisces as well, Mystery Singer. Yeah, we are all psychic. Yeah. So, and Linda's mom is March 15th. Wonderful. Well, I love this, everyone. And thank you. And as we get together, we're going to be talking more about the crime. But you know what? Get your questions ready. I mean, if I can answer a question for you as far as you're interested in how I read cards or, you know, what's going on or any of that sort of thing, I'll be glad to answer if I can. So I wish all of you a wonderful and safe, beautiful weekend. And thank you so much for the memberships. That's just awesome. I am so happy. And I appreciate you being here. And I think this is going to be a very big week after we, you know, this is the for here, us in the United States, we are winding down from the summer and preparing for the autumn or the fall. And I'm all about it. Give me the maple, not so much the pumpkin spice. Sorry, but I got to do it. My darlings, until next time, peace, love, hope. I love all of you. And thank you so much again. And we'll see you again soon. Hang tight.